Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one and only, the brave, the beautiful Political Sanity. I'm your host, as always, Adam J. Bruton. I should really change that. People get it wrong all the time. It's always Burton, Bruner. It's been a while, guys, and life's been crazy. Let's get real here. Life has been insane. The last couple episodes I've been on parental leave. It was so good. It was so great. It was a lot of fun to be home with my kids and to give them the attention that they so need. That sentence was dumb. A lot of things have happened since Trump was inaugurated. Confirmation hearings have been going on for the cabinet positions. I don't know who they've announced so far. I mean, I know it's been a few people that have... Marco Rubio was... not inaugurated, but he was put into the cabinet position. I think, there's a lot of news going around now. I don't know, man. Before we get into the headlines and all that crap, let's talk about rest. Let's talk about what it's like to be a parent and wanting to get rest, but also wanting to spend time with your spouse. Collectively, my wife and I, we have 5 kids. We have 3 together. She has 2 from a previous relationship. The older 2 don't live with us full time. But over the holiday, we've had the 2 older ones with us, every other weekend for like a night or 2 nights. And I'm feeling the effects of having 5 kids in a house that get up early. And I'm feeling the effects of wanting to spend time with my wife, where we want, they get up early and we always tell each other, because we're so exhausted, and we're making changes to our house at the same time, so we're installing dishwashers or redoing wiring or, fixing plumbing, ceilings, all that stuff. And it makes you want to, when they get up early and you're so tired, obviously doing laundry, all the chores around the house, it makes you want to... my wife and I, we always tell each other, nope, we're going to sleep early tonight. Can't do this. We got to get some more rest. And then the kids go to bed. And then we spend time with each other, because I don't want to lose my spouse. Being a new parent's hard. We're not new parents, though. Being a parent to children is tough, especially when you're married when you're... Let me rephrase this. Not when you're married, because that's not a super common thing now. When you're living with your kids' mom or dad, and you don't want to lose that connection you have, because you can get so wrapped up in taking care of the kids, potty training, like our one daughter, she broke her leg 3 weeks ago now, and it's been a challenge. She's only 2.5. It was a freak accident. She just fell down the stairs and buckle fractured her tibia or fibula, whichever one it was. But so she's in a hard cast, and looking at it from a different perspective, it's tough. Obviously, it takes up a lot of time. We also have a newborn. She's not newborn anymore. She's 8 weeks old now. But and then my son is 4. 4.5. Not quite 4.5. He's 4. And the two oldest are they're 10. So it's tough to make time for each other, meaning my wife and I. It's very tough to make time for each other. Because you can get so consumed by taking care of your children that you just don't really have time or patience, Every little thing can set you off, when your spouse and you aren't seeing eye to eye. I mean, we still love each other. There's nothing wrong with, we still do love each other. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not false to say that. But again, you can get so wrapped up in being a parent that you forget to date your spouse. You forget to spend time with them. You forget, and my wife and I, we sleep next to each other. We stay up way longer than we should after the kids are asleep. And there's nothing, other parents can probably relate with that. But my life's good, our lives are good. We're good. We're happy. And I know looking back on it now, if we were to go from when our kids are teenagers, we're going to look back on this moment. We're going to say, wow, I really wish they were still this young, or I really wish they were still in the newborn phase or under 5, because it's exhausting, but it's rewarding. And my kids are probably the best thing that ever happened to me. So let's talk about the inauguration. That was, I wouldn't say bizarre. It was good. That speech was pretty good. The speech was pretty great, actually. Where he talked about this is the golden age of America. Now, I don't know if I agree with everything. So far, I'm agreeing with a lot of things that are happening within this administration. I'm agreeing with a lot of things that are happening. I'm not agreeing with everything, though. I'm kind of worried about tariffs. I hope. I know that he wants to abolish, Trump wants to abolish the federal income tax. And then we would just be paying tariffs, which is... But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just uninformed. I guess I don't really know how tariffs work. I could look into it. So tariffs, this is via Grok. I'm using AI to explain this. Tariffs are taxes imposed by a government on imported goods. So here's a basic overview of how they work. Basically, you're taxing the country that's importing. Purpose: protectionism. To protect domestic industries from foreign competition by making imported goods more expensive. So, i.e., you want to buy more American made. What is American made now? Flex Seal, the ShamWow, or is that Australian? OxyClean. Not our phones. Why can't we make iPhones here? Why can't we make iPhones here? Why do we have to use child slave labor in China? I don't think it's child slave labor, but why do we have to use... Why do we have to import from China? Maybe they make the best phones. China. Revenue. To generate income for the government. Well, what the heck? Trade policy as leverage in negotiations or to retaliate against trade practices deemed unfair by the importing country. So, taking back the Panama Canal type of thing. China's been using Panama Canal. we're going to take it back. It's ours. It was ours. And all the liberals on the left, they'll say, it's not ours. It's never been ours. It's not ours. I mean, we built it under under Teddy Roosevelt. So, implementation. Moving on. Number 2, implementation. Ad valorem tariffs. A percentage of the value of the good, e.g., 10% of the price of the item. Specific tariffs. A fixed fee based on the quantity or weight of an item. E.g., $10 per ton. Dang, man. $10 per ton, that adds up quick. Depending on how much they're shipping. And if it's multiple tons, they're bringing it through on ships. Effect on prices. When tariffs are applied, the price of the imported goods increase. This can make domestic products more competitive in price compared to foreign goods. Impact on consumers and producers. So hang on one second. So Hellmann's is from Canada, I believe. I think Duke's Mayo. I'm talking about mayonnaise now. Let's talk about mayonnaise. This is an important thing in my life. Mayonnaise is an important aspect of my life, and that sways the way that I vote. Hellmann's Mayo is made in Canada. Duke's Mayo is made in North Carolina or South Carolina. I forget which one. I think it's South Carolina. Now, we're putting 25% tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and I believe China. Who's going to bend the knee first? Who's going to want American business so bad that they're going to bend the knee and give into our needs? What are our needs? More mayo for the masses. None of that Miracle Whip bullshit. We need something good. We need Duke's. Hellmann's just smells like eggs. But where we're going with this. The cold hard facts is you can't mess with Americans' mayonnaise. We don't play around here. This is serious shit, okay? You'll never take our mayonnaise from us. Give us this this generic style Hellmann's, just, what the hell, man? But we were talking about tariffs. So we were on the Valorum tariffs. Or no, we weren't on there. Specific tariffs. That was like $10 per ton. That could add up. Eventually that could add up. So effects on prices. I think I already went over this, though. Sorry, I'm trying to do this episode in different segments here when I have time. Sorry, with no video, obviously, we got just to do audio. Why am I apologizing to you guys? Why am I apologizing to you 5 viewers who are going to watch this or listen to this? You don't give a fuck. You're going to listen to it anyway. Pardon my language. Let's go over the effects on prices again. When tariffs are applied, the price of the imported good increases. This can make domestic products more competitive in price compared to foreign goods. So don't be buying China-made, unless you're buying a phone. Buy your Chinese-made phone. We all know they do it better anyway. I think Samsung's American-made, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look into that. Number 4. Impact on consumers and producers. Consumers. They might face higher prices for goods affected by tariffs, which can reduce consumer surplus and potentially lower the standard of living if substitutes are not available or are also expensive. We're going to have to pay more, okay? Is it going to be rainbows and butterflies? No. No, it is not. You want good stuff, you're going to have to pay top dollar for it. I'll do that. I'd rather do that than buy buy cheaply made shit from Taiwan or China. Domestic producers, they might benefit from reduced foreign competition, potentially leading to higher profits and increased production. So that's good. That's good. And you'll get more, obviously you'll get more business because you're making more. Foreign exporters, they might see reduced demand for their products or need to lower their prices to maintain market share, which could affect their profitability. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We don't need your cheaply made garbage Temu product, Wish-made leather jackets that aren't even made of leather, okay? Made of fucking polyester. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good polyester coat, but we don't need your fake stuff anymore, guys. Bye-bye. Number 5, economic consequences, efficiency loss. Tariffs can lead to a misallocation of resources, as they might protect less efficient domestic industries. Okay. Retaliation. Other countries might respond with tariffs of their own, which I think they have already, leading to a trade war where both economies might suffer. Trade war? Trade war, that sounds fun. Sounds like Pokemon. Global supply chains. Modern supply chains are complex. Tariffs can disrupt these, increasing costs and potentially leading to shortages. We may experience shortage of mayonnaise. If you like Hellmann's on your turkey, your dry turkey and cheese with spicy pickles, if you like using Hellmann's with your Dijon mustard and making some nice Dijonnaise, you may feel the brunt end of that stick. You might have to switch to Duke's. And if you think you're above that, well, there's the door. There's the door. If you think you're above Duke's mayonnaise, get out. Get out if you don't like Duke's. The hell do you think you are? Number 6, administration. Tariffs are collected by customs authorities at the point of entry into a country. Oof. The process involves assessing the value of goods, applying the correct tariff rate, and ensuring compliance with trade regulations. Might be a standoff. Exceptions and exemptions. There can be exceptions for certain goods like necessities or raw materials, or exemptions for specific countries through trade agreements. Negotiation and removal, blah, 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 blah. Tariffs are often subjects of international trade negotiations where countries might agree to lower or remove tariffs or facilitate trade. So what they're trying to do, what this current administration is trying to do, is they're trying to lower prices of groceries. Okay? Obviously, eggs are up because of bird flu. Newsflash, I work in turkeys. I don't see any bird flu going on right now, okay? It's all... Let's not get too far into that government psyop quick. Understanding tariffs requires considering both the economic theory behind them and the blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. I don't care about that last little paragraph there. It's stupid. What I'm saying is the administration is trying to lower grocery prices or prices in general because inflation is through the roof. And the liberals are, he still hasn't lowered prices of eggs yet. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. The hell's your problem? You still haven't quit whining. It's been 3 weeks. Jerk off. Tariffs could possibly be a good thing. I don't know. Maybe we will start a trade war. I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention to how it happened. Not this last administration, but Trump's administration before that. So, in other news, there is a big rapper. Big, I say that loosely. Her name is Dank Demos, Detroit-based rapper. So in case you guys haven't been following, well, anyway, so let's go with this. Let's talk about this this Demos rapper from Detroit. She is suing Lyft or the driver. I think she's suing the driver, not the company themselves. I think because I think the way that Lyft works is you provide your own vehicle, and maybe that's just Uber that does that. I guess I don't really know. I could look it up. But anyway, so let's while I'm looking that up, let's talk about. So she's suing Lyft. Now they're saying she's 554 pounds. Holy. Dank Demoss. Oh, so she's suing the whole company. She's suing Lyft. Okay. Hold on one second. You gotta have meet all these regulations when it comes to driving for Lyft or driving for Uber. I'm sure, if you're bringing your own vehicle, you have to make sure you can't have any busted taillights. You can't have any airbag flashing signs or whatever. Your car's got to be tip-top shape. Otherwise, I do believe they provide a rental service where you rent a car from them and then you drive said car and you do your route and then you drop it off at the end of the day. It's kind of like, it's just it's like a taxi service, except taxis are, I don't know if taxis are obsolete now. But let's get into this. I read she was 489 pounds. They're saying that she's 554 pounds. What? That's a lot of pounds, man. I've never heard of this rapper, by the way. I've never heard of her once. She should get her own car. I don't think she should be the one that the one to really be suing a company for, I don't know if they're saying it's fat phobia or what it is, but right now, as a society, we've completely fallen, and we think that not we collectively as a whole. This is ever since that influencer on the airlines when she bitched and moaned about having to pay for an extra plane ticket for a seat because she couldn't fit into one. Now they're catering to people who are unhealthy and morbidly obese, which is why are we doing that? Why are we catering to those that look? I can say this 100% with confidence. I mean, I know they don't listen anyway, but I have some friends. I've had friends in my life who are overweight. And you know what? They never had a problem fitting into my car. And I never denied them a ride either because I'm not a jerk off. But I'm not saying this guy is a jerk off because he didn't give her a ride. I'm sure he was worried about it. Maybe he had a bad shock. Maybe he had some bad shocks. And he's like, "Miss, I got to keep my regulations on in order here. I can't take you. I can't take you." And now she's calling fat phobia, suing the whole company. Personally, I think it's just a handout. That's what she's trying to do. Her hip hop career must not be doing that well. Now, I'll say this. Lizzo would never have done such an egregious thing like this. She would have said, "All right, baby, I'm going to catch the next one." I'm going to catch the next one. No, but she has a jet, though. I think her career took off a little bit quicker than this one, than this lady. But this is, imagine, imagine your ancestors back in the olden days. Imagine if we could bring them back to this day. I'm sure I could ask my grandpa this too. If I turn on 1,000-pound sisters for him, he'd probably look at me and go, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" He doesn't like reality TV, though. He's also 91. I don't blame him. It's all garbage. It's all trash. And then if you look at the net worth of like 1,000-pound sisters, you're like, holy shit, dude. I'm sure it's high. But to see our society like you imagine being the attorney that picks this case up. She comes waltzing into your office. You're sitting there. And she goes, "You'll never believe what just happened to me." He'll go, "All right, tell me about it." he or she. You go, all right, Miss DeMoss, tell me about it. Tell me what happened. She'll say, he denied me a ride, claiming I'm too fat. And you know what he'd do? He'd look at her and he'd go, get the fuck out of my office. Get out of my office right now. We didn't have time for this. We got real crimes going on here. And you're coming in here telling me that you got denied a ride with Lyft because you're too fat. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Gosh, man, the attorney to take this case is ballsy. Real ballsy. But we've come to this point in our lives where we're now, everything has to be listed on social media. Everything has to be put on the internet, even if you don't want to see it. Like the Disney adults. You plan out this whole trip to go to a theme park for children. And you don't have kids. Why would you? They would ruin all the fun. Why would I have kids and go to Disney and live my dream when they're just going to ruin it? Disney adults. I mean, listen, if you're a Disney adult, go take a long walk off a short pier. And also, shout out, if you guys haven't seen the Meat Canyon Disney adult animation film that he made, go check that out. It's actually pretty funny. It's kind of horrifying. I'm not going to spoil it, but go give that a shot. Or go give that a shot. Check it out. I think that the thing is, they plan this trip to go to Disney, and it's like you can't even walk the whole theme park. You gotta make sure you got all your food stops written out on your itinerary for the day. You and your fat husband, and your Minnie Mouse ears, and you gotta ride a motorized cart. Do you have to pay for a ticket for 2 people or just one? Look, I'm not the skinniest individual, like I said before. But I can fit in a car. I can fit on a theme park ride. No problem. Because I haven't even taken my kids to Disney. I'm sure I will someday. I mean, why not? But we're pretty careful about what we show our kids. What they watch. We don't ever watch any of the new Pixar movies because they're kind of whack. But this will lead into my next segment where I'm going to talk about RFK, his confirmation hearing. Boy, oh boy. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen with DeMoss? Is she going to win? If she wins, we're completely fucked as a society. We're completely screwed. If some monster can sue a multi-million-dollar company for one ride denied, you gotta be joking. So Senate confirmation hearings are underway as well. What a segue, huh? Senate confirmation hearings are underway. I guess I don't know if I know that this was last week. So RFK Jr., Kash Patel, who was named FBI director, so it's saying, and also Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth was a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now. So they did do the Senate vote for RFK. Could look it up on the New York Times. But anyway, so they were grilling this guy about his merchandise that he was. The thing is, If these votes are so close, and RFK's former colleagues and Tulsi Gabbard's former colleagues from the Democrats are grilling them like, you're a science denier. Do you agree with what's on these onesies? I mean, he made them, didn't he? Or he put his name on it. No vaccine, no problem. Unvaxxed and unbothered, I believe they read. I might get a couple for my daughter. She can wear one of them. She'd love that. So they're saying that he did make the... They did vote, but I don't know if he was confirmed. I don't know if he was confirmed or not, but let's get into this. So he is... I don't know. Here's where I'm at with RFK. If Trump had been taken off the ballot in 2023, I would have absolutely voted for RFK. No questions asked there. I would have definitely voted for him. I like his policies. I liked what he was bringing to the table. You know, investigating vaccines and what they're putting inside of them. Stating that chopped up babies, fetuses shouldn't be put in vaccines is a great stance, in my opinion. Also looking into food additives and why... I mean, he used to be an environmental lawyer, for crying out loud. I mean, come on. He cleaned up rivers. Like, that was what he did. And he's got his nice little videos where he catches animals on his property. He catches the snake, or... The edits are pretty funny, too, though. But I think that he's going to be a good fit. Hopefully he's confirmed, because if you look at what they're putting in our food... The food that you buy off the shelf, cereal, for example, like Fruity Pebbles is my best example. The amount of food dyes and coloring, and it shouldn't be that much stuff. It shouldn't be soy lecithin, xanthitol gum, or whatever it is. None of that stuff should be in our food. In other countries, this kind of stuff is banned and outlawed. You can't feed this to people because it's poison. It will kill you. It's endocrine disruptors 100%. If you guys haven't, check this. If you guys haven't checked this app out, it's called Yuka. I'm in no way, shape, or form endorsed by these guys, but I will stand by Yuka no matter what they do. What you simply do is you can... This totally sounds like an ad, but it's not an ad. What you can do is you take a product with a barcode. Food, deodorant, shampoo, makeup. When we were in the hospital, when my wife and I were in the hospital after she had our last baby, we were scanning everything that we had in that room. I found out my deodorant that I use has aluminum in it. Even though it says on it, no aluminum, it has aluminum. Endocrine disruptors. Not good for you. And they give you alternatives. They give you a score out of 100 of whatever it is that you scan. Poor, good, excellent. That's the scale. Or bad, poor, good, and excellent. And then we scan our food. You scan Fruity Pebbles, you're going to find red dye, red 40, which causes behavioral issues in children, mostly boys. And it's funny, you can go to a different country. I forget the video. I wish I could link it, but the video of the family who moved to Germany, and they said that they bought all the same stuff that they bought back in the States to eat for like snack, junk food, whatever. And they've lost weight after being in Germany for 3 weeks to a month or whatever, however long it was. So why are we putting this kind of, like, why is the FDA allowing this kind of stuff to be put in our food? Is it cheaper? I mean, what's wrong with sugar? Why do we have to use high fructose corn syrup? There's no way that sludge is good for you. And it might be a form of population control. I don't want to think everything's a conspiracy, but it might be a form of population control. Because whatever it is that they're putting in this stuff can cause cancer, can cause serious health issues, makes your body more hungry. You can't go as long without being hungry. So yeah, download the Yuka app, Yuka. Yuka. Their icon is a carrot. It's worth it. It's like a $15 annual or lifetime membership. Lifetime, one time, $15. You can pay for it. It's nothing. It's nothing just to check it out, and then it gives you nice alternatives of what you can have instead or what you can feed your kids instead, because right now we're poisoning our children. We're poisoning ourselves. Because if you look at a working class family who doesn't have time to cook, doesn't have time to, get fresh, what have you, ingredients to cook. I mean, we do it once in a while, but most of the time it's frozen. Because it's easier. It's cheaper. But I'm poisoning my children. That's what's happening. Don't clip that. Pause. Yeah, it's a weird, because if you look at the working class, now right now, working class, middle class, you can't just have one income. You can, but you're going to struggle. This isn't the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, probably up into the 80s or 90s now. But now you need two incomes. Taxes are so high. Inflation's through the roof, man. And it's funny because the leftists are just blowing their tops over the fact that RFK is going to might be confirmed, or he's even considered, because he's a former heroin addict for 15 years. Why would I listen to him about anything? He didn't even care what he put in his body. Okay, but you guys are rubbing shoulders with fucking Hunter Biden at the White House dinner. Are you kidding me? It's just because he doesn't agree with them. Imagine being upset because Imagine being upset because someone is going to save your life. Save you a slow and painful death from the food that we consume. Imagine. Because imagine this. Autism is through the roof. Is it from vaccines? I don't know. Maybe. Imagine being upset because someone's going to investigate vaccinations and vaccines. I would love to have that done before I vaccinate my kids. Immunizations are like a number one thing that you have to do for your, back when we were kids, I don't know what it was. I'm 31 almost. I have no idea what they were putting in our shit. No idea. None whatsoever. I still think that when I got the flu shot back in 2020 that they gave me a COVID vaccine. I really think that's what they gave me. 100%. They guilt tripped me into getting a flu shot. But I'm still here 5 years later, so whatever. I think that most importantly, we need to look at the greater good for our American people. We need to put political differences aside. I mean, if you want to watch America burn, then that's really your prerogative, but don't live here. Imagine being upset that ICE is deporting illegal criminals that are in our country. Illegally, mind you. Illegally. I come from a line of immigrants. I do. My father was born in Brownsville, Texas. His parents, he's a first-generation American. Him and his brothers and sisters, I believe. My aunts and uncles. But Grandpa and Grandma, born in Mexico, Grandma came over on a work visa to work the fields, I believe. And then, what, did she stay? No. She went back. Then she came back on another visa. Did she stay? Probably for a little bit. But I believe she was working when I was born even. She was living with us when I was born. And now she's back down in Mexico. It's where she lives. It's her home. She knows better. She knows better. No, but she abides by the law. If we went to Russia and we just decided, yep, we're just going to set up shop here. Fuck visas. Who cares? They would kick you out quicker than you could say immigration. They'd kick you out. Borders are there for a reason. I read a post the other day that said borders may be human-made. Nah, that's not what it was. Borders, yeah, I think it was. Borders may be human-made, but they're there to safely protect the people who are inside. Just like the same reason we have a lock on our door to our house. Because you want to keep the people safe inside. Right? And then the Biden administration just opened up the floodgates and everyone came in. And now people are mad that they're getting deported. Protests are going on in LA, Texas. People are waving the Mexican flag. Yeah, nothing tells us you want to stay while you're waving the flag of the country you don't want to go live in. You don't want to be there. Why are you waving the flag? Insane. Insane. You're harassing American citizens as a form of protest to say, I want to stay here, but you're being aggressive. You're waving the flag of the country you don't want to live in, and you're harassing American citizens. Sorry. Bye-bye. Gone. Be gone with you. It's not that hard. I guess I don't know the immigration, but I've spoken to, and I think I've talked about him before. He's a friend of mine, like a coworker. We work with a trucking company that he's from South Africa. He's working on getting his citizenship now. He's done 2 10-year visas, and he's currently getting his citizenship in America. He came over on work visas. He's worked his ass off to be here. And I told him, I said, dude, you're more American than anyone I've ever met here. Because he's proud. He's proud of the work he's put in. And he works hard. He's a good guy. Good dude. I'd love to have him on the podcast sometime. He's a great guy. He's awesome. He's got quite a story. But for him to do it that way, he said it wasn't hard. He said what the hardest thing that he's had to endure is paying taxes, because they tax him much, much more. And he said what frustrated him the most is that people who come here illegally within the last 4 years have gotten handouts left and right. They haven't worked for it. They don't have a job. Maybe some of them do. Maybe some do. Not all. Some. And I mean, ICE is going in there cleaning up shop, basically. Which is good. This is what we voted for. We didn't vote for just the price. We didn't vote for the price of eggs. That's what liberals love to say, that. We voted for the price of eggs. You guys voted for the cheaper eggs. No, we voted for dismantling the whole political system that is corrupt as hell. That's what we voted for. We voted for mass deportations. We voted to keep our country safe. We voted to keep young girls like Laken Riley and Jocelyn Flores safe from being raped and murdered. That's what we voted for. We voted for a stronger, better America. That's what we voted for. I'm not going to agree with everything Trump's doing. The tariffs kind of scare me a little bit because we don't need a global trade war right now. I read that China has retaliated now. They're going to be retaliating by putting tariffs on coal, oil, natural gas. Don't quote me on the last one. I know that they did put a tariff on coal and oil, though. Which, if we can start drilling soon, hopefully prices will go down for gas. I mean, open up the pipeline again. But yeah, the global trade war would be quite scary. Because it's something that, you can abolish the income tax and all that on a federal level, but you're going to be paying for the tariffs, essentially. But Trump's a businessman. He's got it in the bag. Like, he's definitely, he called Mexico's bluff. He put tariffs on them. And then he delayed them because they agreed to send 10,000 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border. He knows how to work it. He knows how to work the system. He's gotten what he wanted before. I mean, look at him. But we didn't vote for just the cheaper price of eggs. We voted for a safer America. And I'll stand by that. I will stand by that 100%. That's what it is. Kash Patel was also named the FBI director, and it blows my mind that he was being grilled the way. I mean, look at him. He handled that Senate hearing like a boss. Gave Amy Klobuchar a run for her money. And I know because she's from my state. She lives in my state. Well, I don't know if she lives here still, but she was grilling him about stuff. And, she goes, if I had 5 hours to ask you all these questions and get answers, I would. And he goes, well, you got 2 minutes left. But he was named, and he worked under the Obama administration. They're taking his social media posts and just ripping them up like backwards, forwards, saying like, this is you. It was a man chainsawing the log or whatever, and it had Cash's face on it. And then they had on the stump, or the piece of lumber, they had like political opponents, Epstein, client, like government spending, all the stuff that they're going to do away with, or investigate, I should say, because the FBI is 100% corrupt. And you know what? I don't care if they come after me, whatever. The FBI is corrupt as the next. It's insane how much they've been able to get away with. So we got Kash. Hopefully RFK gets voted in here pretty soon. I think they have to count the votes. And Tulsi is still up in the air. No one knows really. But the fact that they're dragging these Democrats just because they're being confirmed for a cabinet of their political enemy is crazy. Don't you want a better America? But one thing that really was cool too was when RFK called out Bernie Sanders and everyone on the panel, and he said, you guys all used to be my friends. He goes, I was a Democrat. I ran as a Democrat. We used to be friends. He said, but the main thing is, Bernie, you, as well as everyone on this panel, have taken money from Big Pharma. And Bernie's like, no. Mine came from working class American donations, blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, how many houses do you have, Bernie? Seriously. How many houses do you have? And you want to act like the little guy. I'm fighting against capitalism. Like, dude, no, you are capitalism, bro. You're a bought, paid for shill. A lot of government officials are bought and paid for. But what are we going to do about it? I believe AOC and Matt Gaetz, when Matt Gaetz was in Congress, they came together and decided on a bipartisan bill that bans insider trading within Congress, which is smart. I think, look, if you take insider trading in any other career, you can't do it. It's against the law. You'll get federal prison time. Like, you'll get prison time for sure. But for them to allow this in Congress, like, how do you think these people's net worth is like millions of dollars, hundreds of millions? Because they're insider trading. They're bought and paid for. Sure, it's smart, but if you have someone on the inside telling you this is when you need to sell, like, you're no different than Martha Stewart. And Martha Stewart got put away for how long? Over nothing. Over the same exact thing. Rules for thee, but not for me. I know that this world is a little bit crazy right now. I feel like I say this every episode. It's insane. I mean, we got plane crashes, planes falling out of the sky, Black Hawk helicopters flying into airplanes. My heart goes out to the families that were affected by that tragedy. But it's amazing, and I'm going to go in the other direction here, that the right... So X is a pretty good app, I will say. It's a good app. for information. However, you have to decide which information is correct. You need to do your research before you go out on a limb and say something. Like make a statement that Joe Ellis, a transgender military, a transgender soldier, was the one flying the Black Hawk helicopter because of anti-Trump rhetoric in the past. Now, there's 15,000 transgender soldiers in the military, paid for by the Biden administration. Some of them. I don't know if all of them were, but I know quite a few of them were. It's government money, taxpayer money, paying for transition surgeries, implants, BBLs, phalloplasty, vaginoplasty. I did not sign up for my tax dollars to go to making a fucking fake dick. Okay? Or turning a penis into a vagina. I didn't pay for that. I didn't ask for this. But we're seeing, so back to the original point. Someone said that Joe Ellis was the pilot that flew into obviously using it maliciously, saying that Joe maliciously flew into the airplane because of the anti-Trump posts, being upset about the discharge of 15,000 transgender soldiers. Not true. Joe went on and made a video after the crash and said, "Nope, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. I'm still alive." Come to find out it was Rachel Lubbett, Lukenbach, Texas. I'm not sure. Rachel, they were doing training, and now they're digging into her past and saying that she wasn't flying for the last 2 years. She was part of a Biden, she was hung out in the White House with Biden all the time and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, but if they were doing training like 30 hours, no sleeping, flying from Langley to wherever, I mean, the thing is, there's no room for mistakes, obviously, in the military. There's no room, but they do happen because we're all human. Everyone's a human. The thing is, you can't fly into a plane, though. You can't do that. And again, my heart goes out to the families affected. It's crazy. But don't use your political stance as a gain. Both on the left and right. Don't you ever dare use your political voice for gain. To spread misinformation, disinformation, whatever you want to call it. To spread flat out lies. To further your narrative. That's disgusting. Shameful. Shame on you. Shame on you. It's a wild stance. It's a wild stance. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it sometimes. I've done it before on accident. I didn't know. So you need to look into it. For example, the Madison, Wisconsin shooter, how many months ago was this? Like a month ago? She went in and she shot up a school. Tried to say she was non-binary. I don't know. It's amazing you don't hear anything more about these school shooters or the assassins or whatever. You don't hear anything about them after the fact. Like Luigi Mangione, where's he? What happened to him? Is he going to walk? Who knows? But these people are political pawns. Mike Livelsberger, what happened to him? Is he still alive? Something's not adding up here, guys. These people are political pawns in a game of chess. They're trying to keep us all divided. They're trying to keep us all distracted from something. Something. I don't know what. Just pay attention. Don't Stop blaming people on the right. Stop blaming people on the left. No one, the extremists know better. They don't know any better. That's cold hard fact. They don't know any better. They're just spoon fed. Or they're actually paid to spread this BS that they so effortlessly spew for a payout. I've just learned to go on X and just mute those big accounts that post the same things. It's like an echo chamber. I just want to get rid of the echo chamber. We'll see what happens here. You know, there might be some pretty interesting stuff that happens. Maybe not. Maybe not any interesting stuff. But let's hope we can hope for a greater good of America. Because, you know, if you got kids, you ought to be scared. You ought to be not scared as in like, oh, I'm not leaving my house ever again. You know, like, so we send my son to private school twice a week. And today our nanny went to go pick him up, and the door was locked, and she went into the front door, which isn't a normal door that they, you know, have to go in to pick him up. So the doors were locked. She had to go in the front door, and then a guy came running out of the office and say, hey, like, who are you? Who are you here to get? What are you doing here? She told him my son's name, and he goes, well, sorry, we're increasing security because of a threat made to the children. There's a threat made. And what blows my mind is we just now barely got a message from the administrator of the school that they're increasing security. Didn't say why. I mean, I think if there was a threat, they should tell us, right? Best piece of advice I could probably give you is get a curriculum at home. Get a curriculum at home. Homeschool your kids for a few years. Teach them good things. Teach them self-defense. Enlist them in martial arts. Enroll them in martial arts. Enroll them in self-defense classes. Enroll them in firearm safety. We're shaping the future generations for ourselves and for them too, and for our country. Yeah, well, you know, who knows? Maybe I'm just crazy. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode, guys. I think that this was a good talk. I'm not even going to make any promises that I'm going to do this every week, because I don't end up doing it every week. It's been like 3 weeks since I did one. And now I'm going to upload this. If you guys listen, like, subscribe, I appreciate you. All my fans, all 5 of you. I appreciate you guys listening to me rant and talk shit. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, great rest of your weekend, and we will reconvene when we see each other next. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Bye.